Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and in today's video I'm going to go over some 4K discs from my collection that are headed to the grave. I firmly believe that we as physical media collectors every once in a while have to look at the collection and, maybe do a little bit of tightening up, kind of weed out a few things that whether you're outgrowing the movie and you want to send it off to a better place, somebody else to enjoy it, or it was a blind buy and it didn't work out and you just want to get rid of it as quickly as possible. Or maybe they're doing an upgrade in some way, whether it's packaging or picture quality or audio. I mean, there's various reasons that one would want to just do this every once in a while. For me, I like to try to do it about once a year. And I've benchmarked 2024 as I'm going to do some major soul searching in the collection and just really tighten things up there. But for this particular culling, these are some titles that, for various reasons, I just want to kind of move on and look forward to other things taking its place, or for whatever reason. So I'm going to be sending these titles I listed in the video to the grave, which is just another way of saying it's going to the sell pile. So the titles I go over in this video are going to be going away for various reasons, which I'll talk about. And of course, I'm also going to be talking about certain movies maybe I didn't like. And as you know, all film is subjective, of course. So if I didn't like a movie, it may very well be your favorite movie of all time. But once again, this is my collection. I'm just going to get rid of a few titles. And I also encourage you, what recently from your 4K collection are you putting in the graveyard? So let's not waste any time. Let's dive right into my first pick. This one is going away because of a audio issue. This was recently released from Universal, and I'm talking about Promising Young Woman, which, whatever you may think of the movie, if you're a fan of it, I think really you deserve the best possible 4K experience. And really, I mean, picture-wise, it's gorgeous. It looks fantastic. But the audio is severely borked. I mean, it advertises on the packaging Dolby Atmos, and on the menu in the movie itself it says Dolby Atmos, but really I guess somebody left it off it and it just plays in a Dolby Digital lossless 5.1. Yes, there is a DTS 5.1 that's an alternate track, but even the Blu-ray supported 7.1. So I think Universal at the end of the day will end up fixing this, so I may pick it up again if they do all that, but right now it's kind of radio silence on their end. I've written something towards, Universal's QC department, so I don't know if we're going to hear back from them, but yeah, this one's going away purely because the audio is just not correct, and I'm not going to support something that is just incorrect when it comes to that. So yeah, Promising Young Woman, this one's heading firmly to the graveyard. This next one, when I was doing the review for the channel, it had been the first time since I watched it since I would say the 90s or so. And after revisiting it and doing the review and just sitting on it for a while, I had to say to myself, was this something that I really wanted to keep in my personal collection? Is it adding value? I'm talking about Tobe Hooper's Life Force. I think at the end of the day, this movie's just not for me. Yeah, it has some fun, interesting stuff in it, but really, I don't find myself ever going back to it. And it's just, instead of letting it collect dust on the shelf, I might as well send it off to give it a new home somewhere. But, I know, would I feel differently if the director's cut were in 4K? Maybe, but I don't think so. Yeah, the movie's a lot different and, in my opinion, a little better for it. But I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it at the end. It's really one of those tastes. Once again, this could be somebody's favorite movie of all time. I'm not taking away from that, but for me personally, it just didn't work. So I'm going to send it off to a brand new home. So Life Force, unfortunately, is going bye-bye. This next one is a release from Blue Underground, and if you're a fan of Blue Underground's 4Ks, you know they put out some really good stuff. A lot of their movies are very obscure, but this one was a blind buy. I believe I did a review for the channel on it, and I gotta say, after watching it, I was, okay, so my thing is, here's the movie, God told me to. I always believe that if you blind buy something, you should always give it a second watch. Just to make sure maybe you were having an off day and you didn't enjoy it the first time around. That was the case with God Told Me To. It was a blind buy. I watched it, really didn't like it. I just watched it again recently. Yeah, the opinion's not changing. Here's the thing. The premise is awesome. I love it. I don't want to spoil it, but the premise is really good. But the whole way they get to the end is just ridiculous. Narratively, I don't like the way the movie works. I think it's once again, it started off great, but I just didn't like how the whole resolution was, what was going on. There were some incoherent parts to it. So this, to me, is one of the movies I just flat out did not enjoy. And I know, once again, there's going to be people that do like it, but God told me to. I am so happy to send this one away to the graveyard. But, you know, if you're a fan of the film, the 4K is worth picking up. It's got some good visual quality to it. And once again, Blue Underground does a great job. So God Told Me To, unfortunately, is heading out. I'm a person that really enjoys horror, especially if you get into some of the indie horror films. And I like to support movies that are, you know, just indie or kind of Kickstarter. And when you have an advertisement for a movie like this, so I'm talking about Kill Her Goats. This one, of course, had Kane Hodder, who was, you know, very famous for playing Jason, and he was in the Hatchet films and way more films. This one had all the benchmarks. So, you know, they're using practical effects. I mean, they were very, like, you know, they were selling it hard to me. So I splurged. I picked up the Steelbook on 4K. It's nothing flashy. I don't even believe it has HDR or anything to it. This movie was terrible. I know, art is subjective. I get it. But from a story point, a filmmaking point, a acting point, I'm sorry, this movie sucks. I don't like to be that harsh. And I even wrote up a whole thing on Letterboxd about it, but I ended up not posting it because I don't want to be I'm not somebody who likes to be particularly negative, but when a movie like this was promising kind of one thing, and I'm sorry, but the best thing about this movie is the Steelbook, and I can't just keep a Steelbook on my shelf for no reason. Oh man! And I know they're advertising another film from the same director and all that, and I'm gonna wait to hear reviews on that one before I even think about diving in. But wow, I mean, you know, as somebody who enjoys some good adult content, you know, maybe your actresses can, you know, fully commit instead of long lingering shots where you obviously see like tape over certain spots. I mean, look, there's violence. I mean, but this is not a enjoyable movie whatsoever. I will never go back to this one, but that's as harsh as you're going to get from me, folks. But yeah, Kill Her Goats. Bye-bye. Never want to see you again. Nice Steelbook, but it's not worth keeping at all. This next one headed to the graveyard is purely for an updated packaging coming out. Talking about Evil Dead Rise. I love the movie. It is a fantastic audio experience, probably one of the best of the year. It'll certainly be making a list down the line. But really, there's two things wrong with this whole scenario. One, the Steelbook edition, which was released internationally around release day, was just made available here in the States, coming out October 3rd. So yeah, I mean, that alone necessarily won't get me to upgrade to a Steelbook, because I actually really, at the end of the day, I love the artwork on this. But really what kills it is the banner. I know it's a stupid thing. I know it is. It's just a stupid, you know, the Warner Brothers 100th banner, but it kind of ruins the art, in my opinion. I know, you know, I'm a big fan of, like, you know, if a movie has artwork, I'm not going to not buy it, that the artwork stinks. But if there's another option available, in my opinion, a better one, I was this close to importing the Steelbook, and they just wanted way too much. So I thought I would just settle for the slip. But the Steelbook is coming to the States. It's reasonably priced. I will be happy to add this to the collection because, you know, I just wish if this one, once again, did not have the banner on it, I would keep it. Might even double dip on the Steelbook as well. So yeah, Evil Dead Rise, fun, enjoyable movie. Really like the 4K if you want to see my full review on it. But the slipcover, unfortunately, is going to the grave. I'm somebody that likes to have the best possible physical media when it comes to films. And whether it is a bump up from Blu-ray to 4K, which we all do, or even from 4K HDR to 4K HDR Dolby Vision. Sony seems to be really kind of doing this a lot lately over the last couple of years. And even the next couple months, they're really doubling down on it. But, you know, these next group of titles are just going to the grave because I'm going to be getting the new 4K Dolby Vision graded transfers. So first up, Rob Reiner, Stand By Me, incredible movie. I mean, I go to this one at least once a year. In fact, I just watched it not too long ago. Beautiful film. It is. It's one of my favorites from that era. And I'm very happy to see what Dolby Vision will do. I mean, it's not going to make it drastically different, but I think enough for me to have the best possible version. It's more than worth it. And the slipcover is iconic. So I don't know. I may actually end up keeping the slip. But I think really just at the end, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Stand By Me, I will absolutely be upgrading in the very near future. I believe this is scheduled for November, the first couple weeks of November. So yeah, Stand By Me, definitely going. This one, I'm going to upgrade because I don't have well, let's just say, A Few Good Men. I got this one very late when it came out, so no slipcover was even included. So when it's coming out, Steelbook Edition, best of both worlds there. And also, I think Dolby Vision will really give you this one a nice visual bump. So I'm very anxious to check it out again in Dolby Vision with the Steelbook Edition this time. So yes, A Few Good Men, definitely going to the grave. This is one that I enjoy the film. Guns of Navarone. I like this one a lot. And I think out of all the ones here, this one I think Dolby Vision may improve the most because while the HDR grading is good, I think there's a little bit more Dolby Vision can do to the palette. So this one, I'm very anxiously waiting to see what Dolby Vision will do. So the Guns of Navarone, very happy to upgrade this one in the near future. And this one, I was intending to put on the grave, but I'm not going to do it. I think I'm going to keep it because the Steelbook is so good. But Black Hawk Down, I love the steel. It's funny because I don't even remember when I got it. I know I got the Steelbook, but I thought I had the slipcover for a while. And then when I was putting together this video, I'm like, oh yeah, I have the Steelbook. But the Steelbook's too gorgeous. So this one's being saved. It's not going to the grave. It's going to stay here right with me. But the new Steelbook coming out is, I don't feel it's art-wise is an improvement. This one I think is hands down going to be best. But yeah, this one I'm definitely keeping. So this one got a last-minute reprieve. And it will be staying. You'll just have to share space with the new version. So those are the 4K discs from my collection that are headed to the graveyard. Now it's your turn in the comments section below. What movies in your collection are you going to be hitting the sell pile with in the near future? Let's talk about it. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.